Back in April, I spent 30 days in England's most pagan town, Glastonbury. Now, like most hippie towns, astrology is a really big thing, and so many people ask you when you first meet you what your astrological sign is. And like most people, I actually do know what sign I was born under, and that is Cancer. But something I learned in Glastonbury is this is simply not enough for the hippies there. They want to know what your rising is, what your moon sign is, what your star sign is, what your Jupiter was doing at the time of your birth. And I have to sit back and think, is this all bullshit? And I asked this question to myself quite a lot, especially as I learned more and more about astrology in my time in Glastonbury. But now, after coming back, after doing some reflection and having my chart read, I might be actually thinking this is real. And so in this video, we're going to be exploring astrology and whether it's real or bullshit and what it all means in this modern era. So there's lots to talk about. I want to hear your opinions. I want to share mine and just have a really good conversation about astrology and whether or not it's real and how seriously we should take it. And if this is your first time with this channel, my name is Jacob Toddson, and I mostly make videos on ancient religions and how they survive today, which is why I was spending time in Glastonbury. There's a really big video coming out on that. I have no idea how I'm going to finish it though. It took a month to film, so we'll get there. But if any of this sounds interesting or this conversation interests you at the end, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, share, all that good stuff. I have conversations like this all the time, so I hope you'd enjoy this conversation about astrology. So let's go ahead and begin with the history of astrology. Like most people, my knowledge of the zodiacs, of astrology, is very limited. I kind of knew my own sign, I know a little bit about the others, and I make that quippy joke every now and then saying, oh, well, what's your star sign? It's really become almost like a meme. However, when doing this research, I was really surprised to find out that astrology, the zodiac signs, this goes basically all the way back into human history at the times of ancient Mesopotamia. This is when astrology first kind of became a thing. And then throughout history, it's been added onto by so many different cultures to give us what we know of zodiac signs and astrology today. And so it went from ancient Mesopotamia all the way to the Egyptian times. And the Egyptians were the ones to start associating the zodiac signs, astrology, with the gods. And something that we still kind of know today and still is kind of represented is the different idea of the gods associated with the zodiac signs, but also with the planets. Newsflash, our planets today are named after ancient gods. And the reason for this is because once astrology made its way to ancient Rome, the ancient Romans tied their gods to the planets, much like the ancient Egyptians and also the ancient Greeks. Astrology itself is also a science to some degree. Now, later on in history, this would be labeled a pseudoscience, but before we had the proper technology to study space, astrology was a way to try to predict the weather. And this is what the ancient Mesopotamians were using astrology for, because they thought they could predict the weather based on the astrological rotation of the stars. Now, of course, as Christianity moved in, there was a dip in interest in astrology is because it was associated with its pagan origins. However, during the time of the Renaissance, there was a great resurgence with astrology as science itself became more popular. But during the Age of Enlightenment, astrology took a downturn once again, really until our modern era. Fell into the occult world, fell into the taboo, and people really didn't talk about astrology too much until the 1900s once again, and in particular people like Carl Jung started talking about astrology, and a lot of our modern associations with astrology came from this time. And now you can't go into any metaphysical store, any pagan witchy store without seeing tons of books on astrology. Now, something I also want to note here, going back to the time of the ancient Romans, is with astrology, they started associating them with like the cult of Mithras. And this is something I did research in last year. I did a really cool video on that if you haven't seen it. But the cult of Mithras was using the astrological zodiac signs in their depictions of Mithras, this like bull slaying singular god that was also tied to the sun and like the unconquerable power of the sun with Sol Invictus. So there's a lot of really cool cult stuff when it comes to ancient Rome and astrology. I really recommend checking it out. And like I said, check out that Cult of Rome video. It's really fascinating. The cults of ancient Rome, really cool, and definitely tied to astrology in some way. I do also want to mention that even though I'm focusing primarily on the Greek and the Romans, the Egyptians, the Mesopotamians, there was also other influences. Of course, you have the zodiacs as they're understood by the Chinese. And then you also have the Islamic faith studying astrology and adding their own stuff into it. But admittedly, my knowledge of Islamic astrology basically non-existent, and it's not something I did research for this video. I just want to acknowledge that that also exists, is the ideas of astrology are not just purely Roman or Greek. It's really global. People have been studying the stars and trying to understand the spirituality of the stars really ever since we started looking up. And I think that's what makes astrology so interesting. But we do need to talk about astrology now. And again, it's really complicated. Like I've had people do my chart for me and they show me like, oh, here's the 12 different houses and here is the time of your birth. This is what each planet was doing. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of weird. So you're saying because the planets were in a certain position in space, that their energy affected my birth and created who I am today. Oh, that sounds a little bull. But then I looked at my chart and I started reading what it tells me who I am. And yeah, it was kind of scary. So let's talk a little bit more about that when it comes to neo-paganism, neo-astrology, and what all this means for you today. So it's this point in the video that I'm sure there's already individuals in the comments section typing about how wrong I am about this, that, the other thing, or how I need to do more research. I just want to say that's not what this video is about. This video is not for me to come at you as an expert. I am not an expert in astrology. I'm kind of an everyday person when it comes to this. Now, even then, I'm a pagan. I've been living as a pagan and living a very out lifestyle as a pagan for close to 6 years now and practicing for about 8 or 9. And I really have embraced this pagan lifestyle, this spiritual lifestyle. And yet, astrology to me is something that hasn't really come up much until now. I've not really started looking into it, not really feeling connected to it till right now. And so I'm not making this video to educate you about astrology. I'm making this video to share my opinion as someone who really isn't that into it with you, because I know there's a lot of people that are in the same camp as me. A lot of people who think astrology is in fact bullshit. And I'm actually making this video to kind of say, I don't think it is anymore. I'm starting to get there, but I did think that for a very long time. And so I'm just sharing my thoughts with that. By no means am I an expert. And like I said, there are so many more people who have wrote and talked about astrology that know way more than me. I'm just sharing more of like an everyday perspective on astrology and my thoughts on it. All right, so what does this mean for you now? Well, astrology definitely, with everything there's a dark side, you know, with everything there's going too far. And I think astrology does have a purpose and does have a place within modern spiritual movements, within modern paganism, but I think it gets taken too far. And let me explain what I mean by that. My time in Glastonbury and time meeting people, I should say I love my time there. I love Glastonbury, one of my favorite places in England, one of my favorite places in the world, honestly with you. But there's people that take astrology too far and they blame it for everything and they don't take accountability for themselves. And so they'll say, oh, well, Venus is in retrograde and that's why my life is shit right now. Oh, Mercury is in retrograde, that's why I'm angsty and that's why I'm angry. And they push everything off on astrology. And this happens in so many different ways. This happens with religion, this happens with gods, with spirits. Basically, people just want to shove off their responsibilities, their personal take on life, their personal actions onto things such as astrology. And so there's individuals who do that, whether conscious or not. In fact, most people who do something like this are not conscious about them doing it. And so people who are watching this video who are really into astrology, I really challenge you to question whether or not you are listening to astrology in a helpful way, or if you're just shoving your problems onto it to not deal with them yourself. Now, you might not be. I might not be calling you out justly, but I do think there are individuals who do this. And I just simply ask to reflect on yourself and to see if you do shove too much onto astrology and don't take personal responsibility for your actions or for how you treat people, yourself. It could be really beneficial for you to take that look and see that astrology is a really effective way at having you look at yourself, but it is not your entire identity. Much like everything in our modern world, a lot of people are making one particular thing their identity, and there's definitely people out there who make astrology way too much of their identity, and it's just a part of it. And I think if you can look at astrology as a part of yourself rather than being the whole self, I think it could be really beneficial. And what I mean by that is when I was looking at my chart, I just used CoStar, which is a very common one. A lot of people use it. I think I did it maybe 6 years ago. I used CoStar and I looked at it and I was like, it's not really clicking with me. This isn't really feeling who I am as a person. But who I was 6 years ago, 5 years ago is very different than who I am now. And now I'm reading this CoStar, now I'm reading my chart, and it's being very scarily accurate. And it's getting me to think. Like one of the things I read just the other day, I just turned 30 and it gave me like a report on, you know, the next year for you, right? And I was reading it and it said something along the lines of I needed to rethink what I believe love is within a relationship. And it was saying this based on all my star charts and stuff. And I sat there and I just kind of reflected on what that meant. And it got me to get to some really interesting thought processes. And so much like my belief in divination, my belief in tarot and oracle and the runes, is it doesn't necessarily predict the future. It doesn't necessarily say this is exactly who you are, but it is able to change your thought processes on certain things and certain patterns so that you can get out of them. It gives you a different perspective for you to reflect on. And so as I was sitting there on the eve of my 30th birthday, reading my astrological chart, reading what it was telling me about my next year, I was actually having some really good thoughts and was able to come to some new conclusions I wouldn't have been able to otherwise without the astrological chart. And so in that sense, there is something to it. And the fact that there is a historical backing to this, the fact that we as humans have been studying astrology, we've been studying the motion of the stars and how they reflect us and affect us, is really amazing and really beautiful. And so now I'm sitting here after years of kind of saying I think astrology is in fact bullshit. I actually am looking at it now and I'm like, no, it's not. It's actually a part of our human history. It's really fascinating. It's the study of the spirituality of the stars, and it can get you to look at yourself in a different way. And so in that sense, for me personally, this is what astrology is best for. Again, you're not necessarily going to agree with me, and I know there's people that do not. And so definitely head to the comments. Tell me if you don't agree with me. Tell me what you think astrology is to you. I want to learn. I don't know everything. And so I want to hear your stories. This is just how it's helped me currently within my life. I think it's a really good way to get you to look at yourself in a different way. I think the final thing I'm going to leave you with here is like a crazy theory. And this is something I think a lot of, this is barely the tip of the iceberg with the star children stuff. Like I've met a lot of people who are like the star children, who really believe they communicate with the stars. And I've witnessed some things now that make me go like, they might not be in fact crazy. They actually might be onto something. But my crazy theory is the fact that the stars, if you think about it like the Earth, like the reason I'm like laying here on the Earth, like the reason I'm pulled into this Earth is because of gravity, an invisible force that enacts upon me that keeps me tied to this planet. My bones, my blood are made up of the resources of this planet. And so we are made up of the Earth, made up of the stars, and are enacted upon by the Earth, by the sun, the warmth of the sun, but also the gravitational pull of the sun and the moon. And so if there's even these very traceable things that enact on us all the time, what does the position of Jupiter, what does the position of Saturn do to us? Maybe there is something to it. Where are the gods? Where are these gods that we interact with? Perhaps they are the planets, and that's why our ancestors were naming the planets after them, is because they actually believe the gods are contained within the planets and the solar systems and the distant stars. You know, perhaps there isn't this spiritual world. Perhaps it is just space. And I think that's a lot of what astrology is scratching at, and a lot of people actually go deeper with, is that the gods themselves are contained within the stars. And I can't quantify that to you. I can't say, you know, here's the proof, but it does feel very poetic and very true, is that there isn't actually this invisible realm that we can't see. It's just the realm that already exists. It's the energy of the trees, that's the spirits. The energy of the earth, that's Earth Mother. The energy of the stars, that's the gods. Maybe there's something to it. Something I'm going to continue to explore. Life is long. Keep questioning yourself, keep challenging yourself. That's what I've been doing these last few years, and it's something I'm going to be sharing more on this channel, is on your spiritual journey, don't get stuck in a rut. Don't be the same person every single day. Challenge yourself, challenge your beliefs, and see where it leads you. So with that, thank you so much for joining me for this video discussing astrology. Let me know if you think it's real, if you think it's bullshit, and share your experiences down below with me, and I'll see you in the next video here at the Wisdom of Odin.